Call to the honourable member for Werriwa.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. What progress is the Albanese Labor government making in the fight against inflation? What obstacles are standing in the way?
Call to the Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Werriwa. I also wanted to acknowledge the great work that the Assistant Minister is making when it comes to financial security, and we heard some of that a moment ago. Cost of living is the major pressure on people in our communities, and it's the #1 focus of this Labor government. We're coming at this cost of living challenge from every conceivable, every responsible angle, whether it's the tax cuts, the energy bill relief, cheaper medicines, cheaper early childhood education, rent assistance, wage increases, and the changes that we're making to student debt. Now, we know that the official data doesn't always capture precisely how people are faring, but we have seen inflation come off really considerably in our economy. When we came to office, it was much higher and rising. Now it's lower and falling. It had a 6 in front of it under those opposite, and now has a 2 in front of it. And because of that, headline inflation is now back in the target band for the first time since 2021. As the Secretary of the Treasury said yesterday, as I said yesterday, as the Governor of the Reserve Bank said today, the Reserve Bank targets headline inflation, but underlying inflation is important as well. And both headline and underlying inflation—
The Treasurer will pause. I'm just not going to have the member for Hume continually giving commentary right throughout this answer. Okay? So it's just not on. We just can't have this continual commentary. So no more interjections to the remainder of this answer, and the House will be a lot better. The Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The member for Hume is desperately unhappy because both headline inflation and underlying inflation went down in the data last week, and it went down in the forecasts from the Reserve Bank this week, Mr Speaker.
Order.
Now, it has been—
The Minister for Climate Change and Energy will cease interjecting. No, members on my right, the manager is entitled to raise a point of order, and I won't have this being disrupted while he raises it. The point of order.
Standing orders are very clear on imputations of improper motives. To suggest, as the Treasurer just did, that the Shadow Treasurer is, quotes, desperately unhappy, is to impute improper motives to him. This Treasurer does it all the time, and he should be required to comply with the standing orders.
Member, order. Just the member for Groom. No, we're not. We're not giving commentary. We're going to listen to each other and show each other respect. The Deputy Leader of the House.
Thank you, Speaker. Happiness or unhappiness is not a motive, and I encourage the Manager of Opposition Business to have a look at the Shadow Treasurer's face.
Order. All right, we're going to handle it this way. For the remainder of the answer, I'm just going to require the Treasurer not to refer to other members at all. Just get through the answer and not refer to any other members. Order. And I just want to listen to the Treasurer. And he has the call.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. The point I'm making is that last week both headline inflation and underlying inflation went down, and in the forecast the Reserve Bank released this week, they have lowered their forecasts for both important measures of inflation. And the fact that today marks 1 year exactly since interest rates last went up reflects the progress that we are making when it comes to inflation. And this fight against inflation is our #1 focus. And the Governor again acknowledged that today when she said, and I'm quoting the Governor of the Reserve Bank, "I think the attitude at the moment that I'm hearing from the government is the right one," end quote, from the Governor of the Reserve Bank. The same Governor who said our surpluses are helping and our cost of living relief will help, Mr Speaker. Now, I say to those opposite Mr Speaker, stop trying to diminish what Australians have achieved together in our economy under this Prime Minister and under his government. Inflation's halved, real wages growing again, 1 million new jobs, tax cuts for every taxpayer,
Leader of the Opposition will
2
cease
surpluses,
interjecting.
less debt, Mr Speaker. Now, we're not there yet, but we have made a lot of welcome progress, and we know that the opposition leader is a risk to this progress because we know his record, gutting Medicare, pushing wages down, pushing prices up.
Order.
And these are the costs, Mr Speaker, of his reckless arrogance. His reckless arrogance will have real costs for ordinary people who are doing it tough enough and would be doing it tougher without.